Hello and welcome back once again to our discussion on the K-map. So, here, as you can see, an example has been given to show the usage of three variables Karnaugh map, that is, three variable K-map. So, what are those three variables? They are A, B, and C. So here you are given an expression, an algebraic expression that says there is this Boolean function z that is equal to summation of a, b, c. And in the parentheses, you see there are four main terms given. That is 1, 3, 6, 7. And you have to implement this function using a K-map. So here at the bottom, you have graphical representation of how these main terms are being arranged. So this is a three variable K-map. So here you see A, and then you have two other variables B and C. There are two rows and four columns as shown. Now, in the two rows, you have variable A that takes the value of 0 and 1. So A is available in its normal form and the complementary form. So 0 here is A bar and 1 here is A. Similarly, for B and C, there are four possible input combinations. 0 0, that is B bar C bar, 0 1, that is B bar C, 1 1, that is B C, and 1 0, that is B and C bar. In the red, in as shown in the red color in each of the cells inside, you can see that this cell represents 0, the another cell represents 1, then comes 2, then comes 3. This is how the graphical representation should look like. Then in the next row, you have 4, 5, 6, and 7. This is how you shall write it. Now, if you see that this 0 and decimal represents the binary combination of ABC, that is 0, 0, 0. In the truth table also, you will have this one. So if you see this is a decimal number 1, its binary representation for ABC would be 0, 0, 1. Then you have number 3. For this one, you have the representation such as 0, 1, 1. For 2, you have 0, 1, 0. So this is how you can actually see that either you refer to the red indicated numbers or you refer to the blue indicated numbers in decimal and the binary respectively. Now, coming back to our expressions, we are given these mean terms, that is 1, 3, 6, and 7. Therefore, I am going to mark 1 here in the cell labeled as 1. Then I have to look for cell number 3 to mark 1. So I am marking in cell number 3, 1 here. Then I have to look for cell number 6 to mark another main term. So here cell number 6, here I marked 1. And finally, I have to find cell number 7 to mark 1. So I am marking 1 here. That indicates I am representing this expression in the SOP form. The mean terms are SOP, sum of products. We'll see that in a moment. So now once all these mean terms, there are four mean terms, that is 1, 3, 6, 7. After they have been marked, it's time to simplify the function to the minimum or the shortest possible form. This is how the use and the purpose of the K-map. So what you can do here is, first, we will look for the grouping of the mean terms. So here we see there are two adjacent ones. Therefore, I can mark them as shown. So this is my grouping of the two mean terms. Then I see these two can also be marked and they can be grouped together. So this is how I have marked. Now, there is a possibility that I can mark another mean term. For example, I can group these two as well. However, those ones have already been covered by this grouping and this grouping. Therefore, I need not mark these two right over here. Otherwise, it will be a redundancy. So after covering all the grouping of the ones available in the K-map, it's time to write the logical expressions. So for the first grouping, I see here B and C are 0, 1. Here B and C are 1, 1. So here you can see that B bar C and B C. So C is common here. So that can be taken out or eliminated. Oh, that can be taken out actually. But the B is available in its complementary and uncomplimentary form. Therefore, B cancels each other. However, C remains there. And here you have A bar because there's a 0 here. So for the first term, write we can write the first term is basically A bar and C. That is the first term. Let's say this is the first term. Okay. And then in the second, for the second, you see A remains here. A has a value of 1. However, for this group, here you see B, C, and here you have B, C bar. So C is available here in the complementary and its non-complementary form, which cancels each other. What remains is the B. So you take a B from here and you have A here. Therefore, the next term is A and B. So that is your second term. So finally, you can write that you can say that the term, the final expression. So you can finally see that these two individual terms are called as product terms. This is because this is A bar and C, and this is A and B. So these are product terms. Together, they will form one single term and that we will obtain by calling it as a sum of product, SOP. That means we will have the sum of these two product terms to implement the final function. So how we write here? Finally, the sum of product terms would be, let's say Z is equal to A bar C or A B. So here is clearly, this is basically sum of these two product terms. Again, sum of these two product terms. So that's how you get this final expression. Okay, so hope you found this example exercise useful. If you did so, share it with others for wider reach. Till then, wish you happy learning.